So the plan today, as of now, is we're gonna hit the trail 3:30, and hope to be back here at the campsite. We'll say 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11. We're gonna leave at 3. 10 o'clock.
My prediction is 8 hours.
10 o'clock, maybe 11,
I think
maybe
we'll be
midnight,
back here
maybe
by
1.
11 or
I'm thinking 3 a.m. I'm thinking
3 a.m. This is what really happened after the video ended. One of us at this table almost perished. Parker.
Perish.
What happened?
Well,
Wait, time out. Will you ever do the rim to rim with me again in the future?
never.
It's so extreme, but why?
I will never step foot in the Grand Canyon or anywhere near it ever again.
But why? What? They need to, like, it's hard for me to explain because a lot of people have asked how it was, this, that, and the other.
Terrible.
What made it so bad? The weather was good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we did. We originally were going to go do this at 4 a.m. in the morning. We were going to leave at 4 a.m., go down South Kai Babby Boo, and then go up Bright Angel Trail. Cat Babby Boo. We were going to turn, and then we were going to come up, and the plan was to be done by what time? Noon? Before noon. So that was the plan. So we were going to do that on Monday morning after driving from Las Vegas. It was a terrible idea.
It was a bad idea.
Terrible idea. Mm-hmm. So we had another terrible idea. We were going to start at the hottest part of the day. It was 90 degrees, people. Here, when it's 90 degrees, it's actually 140. So it was 90, it was breezy, so we thought it was going to be a grand idea. So Parker, why was it not grand?
It was grand. For the first...
It was 2 grand.
It was 2 grand.
It was grand for the first...
Mile and a half.
4 miles? It really didn't start falling apart until about mile... How many miles is it down to the bottom? 7? About mile 6.
Oh.
That's when it really started falling apart. The last mile is what took forever.
And when he says the last mile, he means the last mile to the bottom before you make the trek up, which is longer.
Yeah.
So we stopped so many times going down. We had plenty of water.
Tons of water.
How'd you feel on the way down?
On the way down, I felt fine. However, it took forever.
It did take a long time.
You thought you were never going to make
Yes.
It took a long time.
see it, but you couldn't get to it.
Yeah, so the way it's broke down is it's like this.
Like
so every
shells.
time you turn the corner, you're like, nothing more. And then you turn the next corner, nothing more. Until we found the river. That was cool. We got down to the river. And then about 30 minutes later, Parker Meredith found the river.
I got to the river.
We were like, look at the river, Park.
No.
No,
I was just
Parker.
scared he was going to die.
Whoa,
Oh,
legitimately.
die.
So at one point, Parker's nose started bleeding.
But that was at like
That was because it was so dry.
3.5 miles down. Like, that wasn't even far into it. My nose is already...
So let me tell you, everybody was happy at Ooh Point, which is about 1.5 miles to the bottom.
It's about 1.5 miles from the top.
Yes, sorry, 1.5 miles from the top.
Barely in
So
there.
we were still feeling good.
But, like, that's the thing. We even felt good like 4 miles in and 5 miles in. It was literally the last mile and a half to the bottom when for some reason I just...
All we can
everything
say,
went downhill.
hydrate, people. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Hydrate.
I still wonder if it wasn't dehydration for me because I bounced back too fast for me to think it's dehydration.
Maybe it was just he was weak.
I think it might have just been I was weak.
All right.
Or maybe heat stroke.
So
The last mile when we was in the sun and it was baking me like I was in an oven.
It was not hot.
It was hot.
It wasn't hot. I was wearing a long sleeve shirt.
Me too. Kind of.
This is the greatest part. Me and Marina was so far ahead of everybody that we kept seeing helicopters making their tours at the bottom, right where we were
did
at.
see helicopters.
We're like, what is that noise? There was helicopters at the bottom.
I heard the helicopter.
He heard the helicopters.
I was wanting the helicopter to save me.
When we finally get to the bottom, Parker, this is legitimately, this is how he sounded. I need a helicopter. I will pay any amount of money.
I did say that.
I need a helicopter.
Like, the funny thing is, when I watched the last video you posted, and you had a video of me walking like near the bottom, you could tell how jacked up I was. Like, I looked like I was about to fall over.
So there we were. Parker's basically out of water. We were probably about a mile from Phantom Ranch, across the really long bridge that was in the photos.
I saw the bridge.
We
I
saw
sat on the edge of the bridge, laid down, and almost died on the end of the bridge. But it was there.
So I took everyone's Nalgene bottles and their bags, and I walked into Phantom Ranch looking for water and an emergency phone to call a helicopter.
And rescuing.
The whole time, it's getting dark.
It
There
is
wasn't
getting
one.
There was no phone that I could find down there. I
Yeah.
did find the campsites, but there was only like 4 or 5 people there. And that's when we knew Parker may be living in the Grand Canyon for the rest of his life.
dying in the Grand Canyon as it's getting dark.
It's getting dark, so
The good news is it
One day he
felt,
would have still been.
we were in the shade at that point, and it was cooling down, and it started to feel like I started to feel better after I chugged 2 of these full of Noon. Shout out to Noon for saving my life.
Noon tablets are good. If you don't know what they are, just
Buy
ask.
them. I don't even care. Buy them.
So Noon tablets, we had salt pills, we had water, we had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which, guys, let me tell you, if you're going to decide to take a item to the bottom to eat later, let's not choose peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because they tasted like the melted plastic Ziploc bag because it was 90 degrees in heat from your bag. 2,
They're about this thick.
they were almost all jelly. Like the bread, it was a liquid. You had to. But anyway, so there we were on the bridge, and we are getting struck with the realization that we have a half marathon left, and we're going to be walking it
Literally.
in the total darkness.
Literally.
We had headlamps, but we were prepared to be walking in the dark for a couple of hours, so we were thinking, okay, are these headlamps going to work? And if they don't work all the way to the top, we're going to be working in total darkness. So we decided we would take off after we motivated Parker.
This was, what, 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock. So it was
We
getting...
started at 3, 8 o'clock. It took us that long to get to the bottom.
Yeah, so it took forever to get to the
So-
bottom.
At the bottom.
We did, but not a long time. I mean, it was 30 minutes.
So there it was, getting dark. We are not sure that we have enough headlamps to go. I did bring extra batteries and an extra headlamp, so we probably would have been fine. No biggie. But we decided to not wear headlamps until it was too dark to see. And that is where we were instantly struck by the desert at night will kill you. Miranda, what happened?
So we're walking, and at this point, Aaron was back there with Parker.
Rescuing.
Dying.
I'm
I'm
dying
wearing Parker's
still.
backpack
I'm
on
still
top of my
dying at this
backpack.
point. I mean, it's, yeah.
So Meredith and I are walking along, and just like I'm just walking, and then all of a sudden there's movement, and it's a snake, and I'm like inches from the snake. So I just immediately yell and start backing into Meredith.
It looked something like this.
Meredith.
Snake, 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 snake! She's walking backwards.
There wasn't, but it wasn't walking. The initial reaction was like a leap. They
Yes.
both leaped behind, and I'm there dying. Aaron's got all this stuff, and she's yelling snake, and it was.
I
So-
start crying.
There were tears. So this snake goes.
It starts to leave.
It's leaving. It's coming off the trail, and then all of a sudden, okay,
It's like, wait, never mind, I want you.
I'm going to eat these people, and he starts
Accurate.
coming back to us. So what? I pick up a rock. Bam. Homeboy curls up.
And just gets mad.
That's my rattlesnake.
It was-
And he was sitting right beside us.
It was like this long.
And about
easily
that big
this
around.
long. Okay, not that big around. This long though. Easily this long. No,
It
was coiled up.
He was huge, and he was like, "I'm gonna eat you. I'm a snake. I'm a slither." Anyway, so
Is that how he talked to you?
I threw some sand at it. Wham!
Just made him mad.
Even more mad. We have no machetes. Had I had a machete, I would have had a keychain. That would have been actually pretty legit. Like, you would have killed the rattlesnake. So there he was, won't let us pass. He says to us, "No one shall pass." Here's exactly what happened. I'm wearing Parker's backpack on top of my backpack, and I got one arm that's stuck and I can't move. I finally just said, "Parker, I can't deal with this. Take your bag." And the snake it's a standoff between me and the snake. So all I can do is stick a trekking pole in his face and let everybody walk around this sucker. And
They don't want to walk around it.
nobody wants to walk past the snake. So the options are stand here and look at this snake for the next 6 hours and wait for it to get bright again, or walk to the top of the mountain. We had to leave. Parker was dying. We had to leave.
I was okay at this point.
Adrenaline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge
The moment
dump.
that happened, everything that was wrong suddenly faded away.
So the Lord sent us that snake to kick
Yeah.
Parker into high gear. We take off,
Something like that.
and then for the next 2 hours at least, like there's no break. You're like this, just looking.
Because we're by water the whole time.
Yes.
So
So we hear water and
Sand.
it was like the whole time it was never like open. Like on the way down,
Tight
I feel
trail.
like it was open.
Yep.
But the way up,
That
it was
sand
just
was hard to walk in.
wall and just nasty.
sand is terrible to walk in.
Oh.
And we were taking our poles and like beating the rocks, making noise like
It
we
was-
are here.
Not really sure what that was gonna do, but I was enjoying it.
So we're tapping
It was
it.
fun.
We're tapping the rocks. 'Cause, you know, we
Too bad it was a video.
yeah. No, too bad there's no video because it would have been great. We saw another snake, and the
2 or 3 more
scorpions.
snakes.
The
Yeah.
scorpions are
Massive.
they're huge. They're not like the little scorpions you see here in Arkansas.
No, there was. I mean, for real,
Yeah,
ones
there was one.
this tall. Just, I mean, it was
That's all.
No,
He was
not
walking
the-
down the trail. He's like
not the body that.
walking. What is the garden thing?
Indian garden.
So Indian Garden, probably the most beautiful place we have never seen.
And will never see.
'Cause, yeah,
I will never see.
I will tell you that we could hear the river the entire time, which gives you a false sense of going nowhere. Because if the
Yeah.
river is always beside you, how are you going up? But so we had to leave. So we were just saying, go somewhere else mentally. Your brain will trick your body into not feeling like boo-boo if you can get your mind off of it. So we know now
Accurate.
that Parker Loy wants to be a pediatrician when he grows up. We talked about everything.
And literally every.
We talked about how long his toenails were, what his favorite vacation was,
We did talk about vacation.
what
not the
size
toenails.
his underwear is, everything for
Ooh.
like 3 hours.
Have you seen my toe?
Let me also comment on the color and texture of that leg. it's like a pasty glue stick. And all of a sudden we see a bunch of red lights
Oh,
coming
it
through
was
the
like
woods.
it was amazing.
And
Aaron was like, "Yeah, there's people." I was like,
Which how in the world they were seeing where they were going at night with a red light? Anyway, so we get there. I was like, where are y'all going? And they're like, well, we're trying to go to the campsites. How far do we have? And I was like, oh, you got it. It's another hour or something like that.
I mean, at that point, it was 4 or 5 miles.
It was long, and we told them, and they're like, oh, because they had been coming down the south.
Bright Angel.
Right, they were coming down Bright Angel to go camp. And when we told them, be careful, watch out for snakes. Man, this lady broke
Oh.
down.
She was paralyzed.
I'm pretty sure they had to wear her as a backpack to get her
She
to the
did not want
campground.
to walk.
And at this point, it was probably close to midnight because what they were doing out there at midnight. What were we doing out there at midnight? Anyway,
Trying to survive.
yeah. So they were not expecting snakes either. I don't think that they quite understood that the desert will kill you at night. So there we were, going up the hills. We start to gain.
You're making this loud. Every time you beat on that.
You scared away the rattlesnakes.
All right, so We're walking up the hill. It's beginning to get really boring at this point because we've been walking for days.
Boring.
Wait, time out. Ooh,
Oh, I know what he's got. The only thing that made me survive this hike. Shout out to Oxygen Plus.
hold on. This is now that's your new logo. These things right here.
Essential
It's
for your fat
energy,
friends.
recovery, Oxygen Plus. This can is full of 100 breaths of pure oxygen.
Breath.
Anyway, so he sucked down 5 cans of this stuff. Had we not have it, had we have not.
If we didn't have these, I'd have been deader than I already was.
Correct. So we had these. He was sucking them down all
I
night.
just knew he was alive when I heard it.
That's the only way we knew he was live. Because the light was so far away. It was just all we hear is because his head was straight down, so that's where the light was.
I would look back and I wouldn't see light, and my heart would be.
I was just keeping them alive. Because they were worried
And
about me being alive.
I'd wait, and I'd finally see the little light coming around the corner, and I was like, oh.
Absolutely terrible.
One thing that I think we're all going to get tattooed on us is double stab push. Because every time we got to an incline, they would know we were about to go uphill because I would say, double stab push!
And then I'd get angry.
And she'd get mad because they're like, oh, great, here comes the incline. Because normally you're climbing up like a 3 or 5% grade up, and then at the top you start climbing 16% grade. And the 16% grade when you're tired is terrible.
And it's like pitch black outside, but you can see the sky
Oh,
and the top of the canyon.
it's
And it's
horrible.
straight up.
Yes, it's straight up, and it never moves,
Yeah.
like ever.
And you know that I have to get to the top of this, so I at least have that much elevation to climb. And it's just switchbacks all the way up.
Horrible.
So we climb for another several hours, and we're nearing the top. There's archways cut out, and you kind of know that when you've hit that archway, it's like the home stretch. That's where the people like to go. They'll take their pictures down.
Two holes.
We walked through the first hole, no big deal. We're coming
This
up.
is right after. Literally, we rounded that corner is when we saw the archway. That corner is the one I almost fell off.
Yeah, so we're really close to the top. We're about a mile from the top, if that, half mile. Even.
Probably half mile.
So it's a straight drop down, and once you can't see the tops of trees below you, you know it's a good straight drop down. So I'm telling everybody, hug the right as much as you can.
Because the trail's not like super thin, but if you stumble a little bit, you're gonna fall off.
So we're hugging
That's
it.
why it's just
Yeah, it's probably the table.
I've got all of us in a line. We're hugging the trail, whatever. Parker's doing his thing in the background. And we're like, Parker, stay to the right. About that time, he comes around the corner and he stumbles.
On some rock, like there were these cobblestone-looking rocks type deal, and there was a hole, and I stepped in it, and I'm weak, and I'm dying at this point, and I about fall, and I stumble right to the edge, and they all three are like, oh, stay to the right.
Anyway, so we're walking up this thing. We're staying to the right at this point. We see the next tunnel. And I just said, does anybody else see those reflectors up there? About that time, the reflectors blink.
Yeah.
So they blink and they turn. And I'm like, am I the only person seeing this? Miranda saw it. I'm guessing at this point, everybody
I
saw
it. And
So I have a huge spotlight, and it's just on this giant cat. Well, we have to go underneath this giant cat, and it starts to make its way down to where we're at in that creepy.
just like that is what it was saying too.
It was coming down, and at that point, we all took off running because we knew if we outran Parker, he would be lunch. It would be lunch.
Like the top of the tunnel's right here, and the cat is just chilling here watching us, and we somehow have to go through.
We have to go in there. So he starts to climb down, and he finally makes his way back up to the top. So we wait for a second. We don't see him anymore, which is creepy in itself. And we start going through the tunnel. I'll let everybody go through the tunnel first, and I'm just back there just checking everything out. And you can just see this massive cat figure standing on top, standing on top, just eyeballing us. And this is within 50 yards of all the lodges.
Yeah. That was scary.
And at this point, like 10 feet. I mean, literally, it's 10 feet above our heads.
Yeah.
Is where this cat is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't see it. Aaron had went to the back of the mine.
Jumping distance.
I have my trekking poles like up in the air, like
I'm gonna kill you,
I don't
cat.
know what I'm gonna do, but don't come down on me.
So it was super sketchy. And Parker, as soon as we get to, he sees civilization. He's like,
Yeah.
I just want to sit down. I gotta sit down. We're like, bro, cat,
No.
huge, food.
So we're just pounding through.
You can't sit down.
So we got to the curb.
We got to the
Out of the
curb,
parking lot.
and we finally just said, Parker, would you like for us to go get the car and come back and get you? Oh, please.
I don't think that's what happened.
Exactly. Oh.
What actually happened is I sat on the curb, fell backwards, and I'm pretty sure I was unconscious.
Yeah, when y'all were gone, I was like, is he breathing?
But yes, rim to rim in one day. I say it's completely doable if you are mentally prepared for it and you're somewhat in shape.
Hydrated.
Hydrate.
That was the
Before
number
you
one.
go.
Hydrate.
Oh, not somewhat in shape. I am somewhat in shape. We trained for this. We've been doing all this training. I was in somewhat good shape for this. You need to be in better than good shape for this. Like you will not make it if you it's stupid.
So everybody says, including all the signs in the Grand Canyon, they say do not attempt to do it in one day. It's totally doable. But if you're not in shape, you will have a very miserable time.
And if you can't handle heat, you're toast.
And things will try to eat you.
And
Yes.
you need proper gear. There are a few things that are proper gear that you need to have. Ask in the comments and we will tell you exactly what we had and what you need to survive the Grand Canyon. Anything else?
Don't do it.
Do it. It's fun. It's an amazing
No,
adventure.
if you're planning a trip right now and you've been YouTubing and searching for people's testimonials about this, do not do it. It's dumb. Don't listen to him. He's stupid. Don't go.
What would you say?
If you scared right now, don't go.
Okay.
Go.
I mean, you can do it, but I'll never do it again.
I would never want to do it again. It is doable if you're hydrated and in shape and not scared of snakes or panthers.
I loved it. I had a blast. I would really like to do it again in 6 hours.
Like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, watch, click the bell. Don't slap the table when you're doing Big and Bad. Woo! Where y'all going?
Mercy.
I don't know how that's going to sound on video, but that sounds awful.
It's gonna sound just like this.